YouTube? This is John with another episode of Opinionated TV. This episode is going to be a little bit different. It's not really going to be opinions as such. This is going to be called The Left Speaks Volume 1, and it's called Volume 1 because there's a lot more clips out there, but in the spirit of time, I wanted to, just take a few of them and try not to tie you guys up too much. I tend to be a little bit long-winded and things like that, and I really didn't want to split this into two parts. So what we'll just do is every now and then I'll throw a new volume of these together and put it out there for you to like, dislike, whatever. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone who's came and watched the videos thus far. Whether you agreed, disagreed, left encouragement, or left hate, that's fine. I just appreciate you taking the time to view what I've done. This is just a bunch of random clips. This is from politicians, commentators, supporters, just people on the left side of the political spectrum, whether that be what you would consider close to the center or far left, whatever. And this doesn't just cover race. This covers race. This covers sex. This covers religious biases, all types of things. And I just want you, for those who agree with my stance on the left's hate speech, you're just going to see this and, and like it immediately. For those who identify themselves on the left, what I want you to do when you watch this video and you see, a news anchor making a comment, imagine that came out of Sean Hannity or Bill O'Reilly or anyone like that's mouth, and then think how you would feel. Or if there's a commentator, imagine, if that came out of Rush Limbaugh's mouth or Mark Levin's mouth, and then see how you would feel. Or the clips of people at rallies and stuff. Imagine this type of, talk came out of a Tea Party, and see how you would feel. If it's wrong for one side, it's wrong for the other side. It doesn't matter. Just because Democrats for several decades have claimed to be the party of the minority, whether that's race, gender, whatever, that does not give them the right to, talk junk about it. It doesn't. It doesn't give them they can't be racist just because they claim to be the defender of race. They can't be sexist just because they claim to be the defender of women. It doesn't work that way. Not at all. So I hope you enjoy these clips or dislike them, whatever you take from it. So without further ado, once again, thanks for watching. I am John, I am opinionated, and this is The Left Speaks Volume 1.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American, who was articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
And I think that the racist Tea Party is one example of that, and it makes me feel ashamed to be an American.
After we impeach Clarence Thomas, what do we do with him? Let's keep it real.
Put him back in the fields. I mean, he's a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's a dumb shit scumbag. Put him back in the fields.
And what do we do with Roger Ailes?
Roger Ailes should be strung up and... But I don't know. Kill the bastard.
Justice for Anita Hill. What do we do?
Cut off his toes one by one and feed them to him.
What about justice for Anita Hill?
What?
What do we do?
She was right.
So what do we do with them?
You are cool. Impeach Clarence Thomas.
And then what? And then what?
Revolution now, just like in Egypt.
What do you say we do with Clarence Thomas after we impeach him?
Bad things.
Like what?
I don't know, because I'm all about peace, but I would say torture.
Nice. We impeach Clarence Thomas. What do we do with him?
What do we do with him? String him up. And his wife too. Let's get rid of Ginny.
And then what?
Start all over. Scalia? Who are the other assholes?
String him up, eh?
String him up.
No coke, no way.
Thomas, his wife, Scalia, Roberts. Oh my God.
After we impeach Clarence Thomas, what should we do with him? You can say anything. We're all friends.
Hang him.
You know, I thought when we elected a black president, we were going to get a black president. You know, this is where I want a real black president. I want him in a meeting with the BP CEOs, you know, where he lifts up his shirt so they can see the gun in his pants. We got a motherfucking problem here, you know, and shoot somebody in the foot.
One of the things about Herman Cain is I think that he makes that white Republican base of the party feel okay, feel like they are not racist because they can like this guy. I think he is giving that base a free pass, and I think they like him because they think he is a black man who knows his place.
Producer, I want to end with her favorite quote because I love this quote. It's from Mahatma Gandhi. He ran a gas station down in St. Louis for a couple of years. Mr. Gandhi, you can still go to the gas station? A lot of wisdom comes out of that gas station.
I think the Hillary appeal has always been somewhat about her mix of toughness and sympathy for her. Let's not forget, and I'll be brutal, the reason she's a U.S. Senator, the reason she's a candidate for president, the reason she may be a front runner is her husband messed around.
Yeah, but
that's how she got to be senator from New York. We keep forgetting it. She didn't win there on her merit. She won because everybody felt, my God, this woman stood up under humiliation. Right? That's what happened. That's how it happened. In 1998, she went to New York and campaigned for Chuck Schumer as almost like the grieving widow of absurdity. And she did it so well and courageously. But it was about the humiliation of Bill Clinton.
I don't know how anyone of Hispanic heritage could be a Republican. Okay? Do I need to say more?
I think the other reason why North Florida is going to be fascinating to watch tonight is because it's going to give us a sense of what's ahead in March when this primary does move to the deep South states. Because as you know, Chuck, a lot of those counties in the Panhandle, in North Florida, the cracker counties, if you will, more resemble Georgia and Alabama than they do Florida.
While we discuss our very real concerns, let us all remember who the real enemy is. And the real enemy is the Tea Party.
You can't be intimidated. You can't be frightened. As far as I'm concerned, the Tea Party can go straight to hell.
Do not fall in the trap. And let me tell you what the trap is. Those people out there, Minutemen, who have their sports shirts, had their hoods on a few decades ago. Just understand that. It's about dividing us. There is not one black person here that can divide him or herself from their brown brothers. Understand that.
I'm one of the original Minutemen. I serve on the board of directors of the Minuteman Project as director of community relations. As a result of the Minuteman efforts in this nation here is the reason why everybody's here tonight. Briefly, I do have a question, but I just want to briefly, please, if I may. It's very disingenuous to say that I wear a hood or I wear or affiliate myself with anybody that is racist in this nation here. I am an American. I love this nation. I'm a patriot. Having said that, I have a question, because all other issues are moot, and it starts with your oath of office. Each one of you, those who are in elected positions, took an oath of office, and you took an oath of office to swear an allegiance unto the United States Constitution and unto the allegiance unto the Constitution of the State of California. What do you say about yourselves about violating that oath of office, going public, and saying what you have said and gone on record, in violation of that oath of office, and not defending this nation against foreign invasion and allowing another people to come in here and colonize and giving them special...
My oath of office requires me to make public policy. What Sensenbrenner put out there was that we identify 12 million people and declare them felons. My friends, that will never happen. Understand that.
I'm going to place in the record a couple of important documents. Mr. Alfred, we had your address as Washington, D.C., but...
That's correct, ma'am.
You live in Washington, D.C.?
Personally, I live in Bethesda, Maryland.
Okay, because you said you were from California. So
I'm a native Californian, born and raised.
yeah, but right now...
I was there when you came.
You don't know when I came. Now,
It was after 62.
Actually, you're right on target. So we're going to put that in the record. Then we're going to put the NAACP resolution that passed, saying this. The NAACP approved a historic resolution addressing climate change legislation for the first time in the organization's history.
What does that mean?
Sir, we're going to put that in the record, and you can read it because I don't have the time, but I'll read the
What
rest.
does that mean, though? I mean, NAACP has a resolution. What does that mean?
Sir, they could say the same thing about what do you mean? I'm just telling you.
I've got documentation.
They passed it, sir. They passed it. Now, also, if that isn't interesting to you, we'll quote John Grant, who is the CEO of 100 Black Men of Atlanta, quote, "Clean energy is the key that will unlock millions of jobs, and the NAACP's support is vital to ensuring that those jobs help to rebuild urban areas." So clearly there's a diversity.
Madam Chair, that is condescending to me. I'm the National Black Chamber of Commerce, and you're trying to put up some other black group to pit against me.
If this gentleman were here, he would be proud that he was being quoted.
He should have been invited.
Just as he would be proud.
It is condescending to me.
Just so you know, he would be proud that you were here. He's proud, I'm sure, that I am quoting him.
All that's condescending, and I don't like it. It's racial. I don't like it.
Excuse me,
I take offense to it.
Okay.
As an African American and a veteran of this country, I take offense to that.
Offense at the fact that I would quote...
You're quoting some other black man. Why don't you quote some other Asian or somebody?
Well,
you are being racial here.
Okay, let me be
And I think you're getting to a path here that's going to explode. Senator, as I said, we've been looking at energy policy since 1996, and we are referring to the experts, regardless of their color. And for someone to tell me, an African-American, college-educated veteran of the United States Army, that I must contend with some other black group and put aside everything else in here, this has nothing to do with the NAACP and really has nothing to do with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. We're talking energy. And that road the chair went down, I think it's god-awful.
What do you make of what Herman Cain said? He did acknowledge that racism exists, but he says, you know, it doesn't matter that much, that more of it is about actually working hard and making opportunities happen for yourself.
Well, one, I mean, black people have been working hard for decades. I think he needs to get off the symbolic crack pipe and acknowledge that the evidence is overwhelming. And I think he also knows that if Brother Anthony Davis, the brother who was just put to death, were a white Wall Street banker, that the response in the nation would have been very different as opposed to being a poor black brother. And that's just one small example, one very small example.
Hey, Manish, how are you, man? Well, good to see you. As you know, I got a lot of support from you, Cindy.
That's where, and more to come, I think.
Yeah,
so.
No, I've had a great relationship. In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking. Oh, gigantic.
Put all these 100 people in a room, strap them into gurneys, inject them with sodium pentothal. How many of them would say, I don't like the idea of having a black president? What percentage? What percentage would say I don't like having a black president?
I'm just guessing. This is just off the cuff. I think 45 to 65% of the people who appear at these groups are people who will never be comfortable with the idea of a black president.
I saw pictures of Boehner and Cantor on our screens. Don't ever let me see again in life those Republicans in our hall on our screens talking about anything. These are demons.
Any comments on Israel? We're asking everybody today. Any comments
Tell them
on
to
Israel?
get the hell out of Palestine.
Ooh. Any better comments than that?
Remember, these people are occupied, and it's their land. It's not German, it's not Poland.
So where should they go? What should they do?
They go home.
Where's the home?
Poland.
So the Jews,
Germany.
You think Jews go back to Poland and Germany?
and America and everywhere else.
What's the cotton? What's the cotton picking delay?
Right.
You know, cotton picking traffic.
I know.
Cotton picking black guys. You know.
Yeah. I know, Jay.
No, is that wrong?
Just found a picture on the internet of Mexican Bluetooth. Go ahead, let him. Bluetooth? Who needs to pay for that shit? He's got his Mexican Bluetooth right here.
I was trying to figure out what would be a Muslim theme, but
yeah, well, no, that's for the end, you know? Like, you break the glass like the Jews do, you break the plates like the Greeks do, and at the end you blow the whole fucking place up. What are you doing? Put some clothes on those women. This is outrageous.
Right.
This is an affront to Hindu nationalism.
But he couldn't sell watermelons if you gave him a state trooper to flag down the traffic.
I'm not sure what he means by this particular soundbite, and I think it's open to some criticism because it suggests that the president is an athlete, and some people may suggest, you know, because all black people are good athletes. I mean, that's what it sort of sounds like to me.
Her husband watched the game in New Mexico with the former governor, or with the governor and former presidential candidate Bill Richardson, possibly asking Richardson for an endorsement, and then, would you please pass the guacamole?
Outside wore a semi-automatic assault rifle on his shoulder and a pistol on his hip. There are questions about whether this has racial overtones. I mean, here you have a man of color in the presidency and white people showing up with guns strapped to their waist.
Wow. That film that was shown on MSNBC looks like, uh-oh, look out. Oh, he's a racist black man who just hates the black president.
There are a lot of people who wrote these eulogies for Senator Byrd, and they mentioned that he once had a fleeting association with a Ku Klux Klan. And what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. He was a country boy from the hills and hollows of West Virginia.
I have 2 dogs. If I had 2 retarded children, I'd be a hero. And yet the dogs, which are pretty much the same thing, dogs are like retarded children.
White interloper, I said I was wrong. Cracker, though I think cracker is a certain personification of a certain type of person down south, just like redneck. I mean, you know, some people misinterpret cracker meaning all whites is not true, but the confusion means you shouldn't use it. I mean, sometimes being flippant, you say things you shouldn't say because it gets in the way of your message and people don't really understand what you're saying.
White folks was in the cave when we had built empires. We learned to admire them, but they knew to admire us. We built pyramids before Donald Trump ever knew what architecture was. We taught philosophy and astrology and mathematics before Socrates and them Greek homos ever got around.
Here are 3 men who tell me they are not going to vote for the person most people think that they would normally vote for. Take a listen.
Want to take a look at race and set it aside and stick to who's best prepared to lead. And so,
you think John McCain is better prepared to lead our country than Barack Obama?
I know he's better prepared to lead.
Isn't there any source of pride within you that says, I may be against this guy, I may like the other guy, but he makes me proud? No?
Oh, absolutely. We're proud of Barack Obama. There are millions of children that look at him as a black man and say, wow, I can become a nominee to a major party. There's the potential to be president of the United States. Yes, we celebrate that. But see,
but you would say to those children, don't vote for him.
Yes, I would, based on principle. Absolutely. Principles matter. Lower taxes, strong national defense, traditional marriage, free market solutions, those types of things. That's what we believe in the Republican Party.
Austin, you agree?
I agree very much so. We're very proud of Barack, even though he's done a lot of good and everything. But you still have to look at it from principle aspect. You want to vote for the best candidate. McCain's proven. He's been in leadership positions before. I feel that Barack's a good candidate, but I feel at times he talks a lot, and I don't feel he can get everything that he talks necessarily done. I feel that he's just like a motivational speaker at sometimes. But I really think that being a Republican is the way to go.
Is there anything that you guys feel at times from your friends or your family that make you feel pressure? Almost like, and I hate to use the word, but you know it's been used before, so I'll give it to you, a sellout.